You're listening to the greatest multifamily investment advice show. My name is Adam Ras, and now I'm talking everything multifamily for an in-depth conversation, and I will be diving deep into raising capital, deals, and underwriting process. Welcome back to the greatest multifamily advice show. Today we have Isaac Weinberger, our today guest expert on different commercial spaces, cost segregation expert, and 1031 exchange. Please help me to welcome our guest today. How are you, Isaac?
I'm doing good, Adam. Thank you so much for hosting me. This is a great opportunity. I'm really looking forward to speak to your audience.
Thanks so much for being with us today, and I appreciate you taking the time. So, Isaac, you as we mentioned before, you started on more on accounting, accounting side of real estate, on the multifamily spaces. Can you tell me what was the beginning for you on the multifamily in general?
Yeah. So I started here at Madison Specs a few years back. Madison Specs is one of the largest cost segregation firms in the US. We're performing thousands of studies a year. And obviously, everybody's all excited about the multifamily space. Really gave me the opportunity to go ahead and speak and connect and network with many people in the multifamily space, starting from small multifamilies, 6, 7, 8 units, all the way up to, we're talking about $100 million properties, hundreds and hundreds of units, sometimes over 1,000 units at a shot. So it really gave me the opportunity to network and create relationships with many of these people. It really taught me so many different things in the real estate space, so many things that were really unexpected. I came in as a cost segregation guy, and not only did I become well-versed in the cost segregation world, I actually became very well-versed in so many different ideas in the multifamily space due to the people that I was dealing with. Since then, I navigated over to many different asset classes, and got very involved in 1031 exchanges, title insurance. So thank God, it's been a great journey so far.
So how long been in this journey so far? How long you been in cost segregation so far?
2 years. 2 years.
Okay. And to talk about more about cost segregation on multifamily and dealing with different animals here between family offices, small deal and mid-sized deals, what was, as you see, what is the upside for investor when they are doing the analysis on their deals and going back and do cost segregation analysis? What is the upside for them?
Absolutely. Great question, Adam. So essentially, what's the upside? What's the benefit of a cost segregation analysis? This is a question I get asked all the time, and the answer is simple. The answer is what would you rather? Would you rather $10 over 10 years, $1 a year, or would you rather $10 in 1 year? And the answer most people will give is I'd rather $10 in year one. I have more cash in my pocket. I have more money to reinvest and buy more items. So by doing the cost segregation analysis, essentially you're taking your tax deductions faster as opposed to taking a little bit every year. Now let me break it down for you. If you buy a $1 million multifamily property, you will get back approximately, every situation is going to be different, but approximately $30,000 a year over 27 and a half years. And the reason why you get these deductions is because the IRS views your property that it goes down in value due to the fact that it's older. So even though generally real estate appreciates, it goes up in value, even if the market value is going up, the IRS views that your property is going down in value due to the fact that it's older. So over 27 and a half years, you're almost going to get the entire purchase price back, $30,000 a year. Because we can't take land is not depreciable, fine. If you do a cost seg analysis on that multifamily property, you will get approximately anywhere between $150,000 and $200,000 in year one as a tax deduction. So you're getting a $200,000 tax deduction as opposed to a $30,000 tax deduction. If you're getting hit with a tax bill that year, or your partners are getting hit with a tax bill, or your investors are getting hit with a tax bill, if I could offset $200,000 of my tax liability, I will be left with in my pocket with much more liquid cash to reinvest in the next deal. As opposed to if I would only take $30,000 as a tax deduction, yes, it will benefit me, but very, very little. So we call it time value money. You have an interest-free loan. By paying a few $1,000s for a cost segregation study, you have access to all that cash that you would not have had access to. That is the benefit of a cost segregation analysis. And the way it works, Adam, if I could just stick in to end this.
Sure.
And this idea, the way it works is, first of all, it's legal. CPAs are very into it. Everything is completely, we're doing it the right way. And the way it works is that every property is made up of 3 different components. You buy a property, there's 27.5-year property, which is the actual structure of the building. That depreciates over 27.5 years. Then you have 15-year property, which is the landscaping, land improvements, grass, parking lots. That depreciates over 15 years. Then you have 5-year property, which is, let's say, chandeliers, vanity, flooring, carpet. That depreciates over 5 years. A regular accountant, even though he knows that there's 3 different components, he doesn't know how to segregate it. He doesn't know how to put them into different buckets properly. He doesn't know how to allocate it in the correct format. We as licensed engineers, and we're experienced and licensed in the cost segregation field, we come down and we identify different components in your property that can be taken on a faster track. They can be placed in a different bucket. We can take 27.5-year property and we place it in 15 and 5-year bucket it because it's eligible for that. And then in 2017, Congress put into law that all 5 and 15-year property can be taken on year 1. So if we come into a property, we identify, let's say 20% of your purchase price as 5 and 15-year components, you can take all the 5 and 15-year components on year 1. That's what's called bonus depreciation. So that's the process. That's how it works. It's extremely beneficial. I always tell guys, if you own a property, you're paying taxes, it doesn't hurt to reach out to anybody. Obviously, I'd like you to reach out to me, but it doesn't hurt you to reach out to any cost segregation expert and find out, hey, Tom, hey, Isaac, is it worth it to go ahead and do a cost seg in this situation?
So this is basically what's coming to the next question. What is the trigger for real estate investor on their different sales? The trigger to say, okay, I want to do it, cost segregation. What is the magic number?
Okay, so that's a great question, Adam. So I'll break it down into 2 points. Generally, any property that was purchased for $300,000 and above, that's when it becomes worth it to start crunching the numbers and see if it's worth it to do a cost seg analysis. Because if you buy a property for, let's say, 200 grand, generally 15% of the purchase price is going to be land. Okay. So let me take out my calculator over here. You buy a property for $200,000 and we're going to minus 15% for land. You're left with a depreciable basis of 170. Let's say we get you 20% of your purchase price. You're looking at a $34,000 write-off. And if we charge you, let's say it's a single family house, $3,500 for the study, it's only a deduction. So let's say $34,000 saves you, let's say you're paying 25% tax on that. So we're talking about it saves you $8 grand. You're going to pay $3,500 for $8 grand of saving. Sometimes it's not worth it. But when it comes to $300,000 and above, generally it does make sense. Now, something that you made me think of, I don't know, it could be you referring to this also, Adam, is that you have a guy that's syndicating deals. And this happens many, many times. I have many friends syndicating deals, sometimes big deals, and they themselves are not getting hit with a tax bill for whatever reason. They're like, hey, Isaac, why should I do cost seg? I'm not getting hit with a tax bill. I don't have to offset anything. The answer is that you're investors. These days, many accredited investors, many even people that are not accredited investors want tax write-offs. They get back proportionately from the deal that they went ahead and invested in. They'll get back proportionally accelerated depreciation. Let's say I go in on a deal and I have 2% equity in that deal. I will get back 2% of that accelerated depreciation. So let's say the accelerated depreciation is $2 million. I'll get back $20,000 of accelerated depreciation. Yeah, I think $20,000 of accelerated depreciation. So many times syndicators, even if they're not doing it for themselves, Most times they'll do it for their investors. I've seen many times that investors will only go in on a deal because they're getting back so much accelerated depreciation. And something to just stick in over here, sometimes the investors, because they don't need it, they'll give away their portion of their depreciation in order to make it more exciting for their investors. And there's ways to do that with the partnership agreement terms, with your accountant. So there's definitely many ways to maneuver in the accelerated depreciation space to make it very exciting for your partners and potential investors.
But you open a good subject that almost all of the GPs during the deals, we always like to marketing that we have a depreciation, a benefit, but how the LP from the beginning can judge that this has been done properly with a cost segregation or regular accountant?
So this is where I believe Madison Specs comes in, because we have a track record of doing 25,000 studies. We got audited 3 times and we won all 3 audits. We have the top CPAs in the field. And I'm not just saying this to boast. We have 250 people on our team over here. We have an entire operations team out of country working 24 hours a day. So they could feel 500% comfortable that when we give you our analysis, we always live up to what we project. Sometimes we even get more than what we project. We never underperform. If we tell you through a complimentary proposal, hey, Adam, we're going to get you back 22% of a reclass, meaning to say you purchase it for, let's say, $10 million. We're going to get you back, let's say, make it simple, we're going to get you back $2 million as accelerated depreciation. We're going to make sure we get you back at least $2 million, if not more. So you, your partners, and your investors can feel comfortable that everything's being done correctly. We documented in a 90-page report the feedback that we've got from CPAs. Top of the line CPAs are like, they've never seen something like that. We've worked with top of the line companies, Kushner, some of these big real estate firms in the city. So definitely clients have come to me and they've said, Isaac, we feel comfortable with your firm. Yes, there's some cheaper firms out there, but you pay for what you get for it. I always say, and I'll just stick this in, Adam, I always give a certain example, certain story that happened to my family, to potential prospects. My family and I moved to Detroit, Michigan, 22 years ago. And there was a lot of plumbing issues right when we moved into the house. There were a lot of roots from the big tree on the front lawn that were going into the pipes. My father hired a cheap guy for $3,000 and he fixed it temporarily, I guess. And since then, for the past 20 years, there's been tons of issues. Now he's hiring some big time plumbing thingy, or I don't know what you even call it, that's going to take care of it. He told me that over these past 22 years, he's paid double the amount of money than he would have paid by hiring a good company from the get-go. So I tell guys all the time, yeah, you can find $500 studies online. You want it right. You want to document it. You want to audit protected. You want to have a company that has your back, no matter what happens. And we'll go to court for you if something happens, God forbid. That is the testament to what we're about. So clients feel very, very comfortable with what we offer in terms of our analysis and in terms of our process.
Can you tell me a little bit about like differences on the cost segregation studies between the different size of commercial spaces, especially was dealing with family offices and, as you mentioned, plus 100-unit deals? What is you think is the difference in the analysis you always face when you're dealing, especially with sophisticated institutions like family offices?
100%. So let me ask you, Adam, are you asking what you can, what I would project you would get back as a percentage based upon the different types of assets?
This is one of the issues, like based on how big the deal is, what is the percentage to get back to you as a family office or as a syndicator on the deal, so you can have a projection to your investors ahead of time?
Yeah, 100%. That's a great point. So generally what we tell our clients is, or prospects, they'll send us an OM, or they'll send us the pitch deck or an appraisal or a CoStar report. And we're able to go in, our engineers, as really like a preliminary analysis and really see what you will get. Even though obviously when we do come in, will go ahead and squeeze out every last light bulb, and that we can't see on the appraisal, but we get a basic idea. And because we've done so many, we have a basic idea of how these multifamily works, how the family offices work, how the mobile home park works, etc. Now, I just want to go through for a second what you can expect to get back from every asset class. So I'll start from lowest to highest. Self-storage is probably, by the way, I just want to make a disclaimer. All these asset classes are very well worth it to do cost seg, but some will get bigger percentages. Self-storage, because it's hollow inside, hence the fact that it's self-storage, you're putting storage in it. So there's not so many different components in the property that can be taken faster. So generally it's a 10% right up the purchase price in year one. Obviously, sometimes it varies if you have brand new HVACs and brand new and huge parking lots. So you always run it by a cost seg expert, but generally it's 10%. I would say industrial, retail, strip malls, anywhere from 10 to 18%. Family offices, office buildings, medical offices, I would say anywhere from 15 to 22%. Single family houses, also 15 to 25%, dependent on the situation. Multifamily, I would say anywhere from 20 to 30%. So it depends. If you have a multifamily property in the heart of Manhattan, there's no parking lot, you're going to get much less because there's no parking lot, there's no land improvements. But if you have a multifamily property in Texas, which is a huge garden style multifamily, you're going to get 28, 29%. There's just more components that can be taken on a faster basis. Mobile home parks can get anywhere from 35 to 75%. Many components of a mobile home park are depreciable over a 5-year span and therefore eligible for bonus depreciation. And then there's one little secret that many people don't know, and that's car washes. Car washes are eligible to take sometimes 90% bonus depreciation in year one. So obviously every single asset class is going to vary. There are other asset classes that I didn't mention because they're very, very uncommon. You have vineyards, you have campgrounds, you have these types of things. It's always worth it. If you have some sort of structure on your property, cabins, run it by a cost seg expert, run it by me. I'll tell you a preliminary analysis, and then if you want, I can give you a paper proposal, get it back to you after 2-3 days. And you can see for yourself exactly what you would be getting. And if you decide to go through with it, we'll go ahead and do the study. But yeah.
So based on your career on the last 3 years on cost segregation, who was your influential mentor to say, okay, I want to jump to this space? What was like the upside for you to say, I want to do this? Besides, you mentioned that you're always also focusing on multifamily and real estate in general, but why for you was that you choose this career?
That's a great question, Adam. Great question. So many people have told me the past, when I was looking for a job, many people told me that I have to go into sales. It's my type of thing. I'm definitely, I like talking to people. I like meeting people. I like speaking. They all told me that. Now, obviously in sales, there's many different jobs. You could become a salesman you could become a broker. You could become a flooring sales guy. You could become anything. I wanted a job that I could learn real estate as I'm making money. Many people go to college for certain things and they pay to go to college. They don't make any money while they're in college. My idea was that let me go, I'll do cost seg, and I'll learn so much about the real estate space while I'm doing it. And the amount I've learned over the past couple of years while I'm closing deals, thank God, has been unbelievable. And now if I decide in a few years from now to start syndicating deals, I'm going to be so much ahead of the game out of the guy that just comes out of the gate and starts syndicating deals straight from a different job. I've made unbelievable connections. A regular syndicator can't make the connections I've made due to the fact that he won't get in the door with these big time guys. The reason why I was able to, because I came as a cost seg guy. So like, hey, Isaac, you're a cost seg guy, do it for me. Now I became friends with some of these big guys. And if I ever decide to syndicate deals, and I could send them the deal deck, and they're like, hey, I like this deal, let me invest money. It really gave me the opportunity to meet all people from different parts of the real estate space, from storage, from multifamily, single family. If somebody's just in multifamily, all they meet is multifamily guys. I get to meet people from all over. So it's been unbelievable. A great journey so far.
So can you tell me what was the latest book you grabbed your attention about cost segregation or real estate in general?
So real estate in general, um, cost segregation, I've just read online millions of documents, tons of stuff. In regards to real estate books, Matt Piccini, you ever heard of Matt Piccini?
No.
I'm trying to remember what the book was called. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read some of it. Great book. I highly recommend it. Matt Piccini put out a book. It's one of the bestsellers. Oof, I'm forgetting right now. Give me a second. I'm forgetting, but
No worries.
there's so many real estate books that are great out there. Check out Matt Piccini's new book. It's unbelievable. Well, yeah, it's just I gained so much knowledge from speaking to people and learning different things in every asset class, doing different studies and picking up different pointers along the way. So it's been incredible.
My final question will be how the people can follow you or follow up with you about cost segregation and medicine titled.
Absolutely. So I'm the most active on LinkedIn. That's where you'll find me, but I'm happy to give out my phone number and my email address. Maybe you could post it when you post this podcast. I'm Isaac Weinberger. I'm with Madison Specs, and I love to connect with each and every single one of you and help you offset your tax liability, whether it's for this year, whether it's for previous years, we do as well. You can still access that retroactively. Thank you all for listening.
Thanks so much for being with us today, and we're really happy to bring you again to talk about cost segregation. Thank you for your time.